There she stood. The oceans are not large enough to contain her tears, fears, rage, or excuses of all her years thus far. So she hides. She hides in volcanoes and she watches them erupt, spreading inner secrets like hot lava, hoping to damage the land. And it's bittersweet. It's bittersweet to watch such a beautiful tragedy. And they tell her that you're great, you're kind, and your spirit is as humble as the dew of morning's arrival, but she never hears them. She never hears them because she's always influenced and distracted by cloud nines. So she hides. She hides in avalanches, and she has a front row seat to watch her slopes rapidly descend, destroying everything in its path. But after it's all settled, there she is, standing in a garden of dead flowers, but the bags beneath her eyes failed to mask traces of beautiful embedded in her glare or the squint of her right eye or even her summer sun-kissed skin. And as autumn becomes acquainted with winter, her mind sets ablaze to keep people who hurt like her warm. And as winter trades spring for rest, flowers bloom. And they bloom just as beautifully as she stood. And there we were standing face to face for the first time. And I couldn't breathe, and I couldn't speak, and I couldn't move. But she was waiting on me. So I said that your eyes are more beautiful than I remember. Light lives in your smile, and you are bravely fearless. And a sea of killer sharks and pain has only secured your roots. And even though I have neglected you, still you live inside, begging to guide me. And even though you may be easy on the eyes, physical attributes are not all of you. You are worth far more than rubies. You are fearfully and wonderfully made with potential beyond galaxies. And the power of your tongue can speak life. And you have the authority to walk boldly, displaying how gracious God really is. And God has not made one mistake. Because girls like you do not die. They live forever because they decide to take the high road to heaven, and I promise to meet you there. But promise me one thing. That when I get there, you will introduce me to little girls who hurt like we did, but found the light and can now see that it was never personal. But it was all about the seed that we were chosen to carry. I said that it was never personal, but it's always about the seed that we were chosen to carry. And you see, and there I stood, and there she was, standing in a garden of flowers, and they bloomed just as beautifully as she did. Peace.